Yes, yes. Welcome.
Yeah.
Spirit's latest.
Yeah.
Give you a little taste for the previews.
Yeah, yeah. Yeah. Yeah, yeah, yeah. We don't need no war. We don't need you to go. Born free. Wasn't down for long. Time to go home. Yeah, that's free. We don't need no war. We don't need you to go. Born free. Wasn't down for long. Time to go home. Yeah, that's free. Time so short in the fast lane. Why take long? You can crash pain. Cut his ass off with the right brain. Create to ignite flames. Heat them up, cook change. I ain't tryna wait till an old age. Show a little picnic how to hold sage. After that, teach him how to shoot aim. We'll be praying on the damn range. Teach him how to cook, class, hook bass. Similar to your good ass. Try to take a look, class. You can catch a hook fast. I was built for this shit. See my skin black. My whole building is brick and a grip smash. On the block, taught me how to click clack. Zapatista, show me how to fall back. Mix it up with the movement, a new black. We the ones doing that. What you don't do, slide. We don't need no war. We don't need you, girl. Born free. Wasn't down for long. Time to go home. Yeah, that's free. We don't need no more. We don't need you, girl. Born free. Wasn't down for long. Time to go home. Yeah, that's free. We don't need no war. We don't need your God. We've been free so far. Wasn't down for so long. Now it's time to go home. If not go home, we don't need no war. We don't need your God. We've been free so far, wasn't down for so long. Now it's time to go home. And if not go home. Okay, this is what we do. We make moves when there's nothing moving. Prefiguring my computer. I'm using this man, I'm brewing a militant. What you doing? Think then act do it. Taking it back fluid. Ancestors, indigenous black music. Planning attack student. Study your maps, use it. You wanna know how that grow food protect you.
10:09
This
p.m.
is 10 to Jerome Avenue. You can see the dramatic video at
30 seconds.
All news, all the time. This is 1010WINDZ. You give us 22 minutes, we'll give you the world.
And we are live. Welcome to 1010WINDZ, WINDZ, as in Zapatista. Winds below. My name is Rosa Bettina, and this is my producer here, known as Spirit Child. Thank you for tuning in. Thanks for coming to catch the news. This works best when we have news from you, good news as well. So thank you so much to all of our friends and family and wonderful folks. And looks like we have some messages coming through. It's you that make it happen. So thank you so much for being here. All right, so we're going to kick it off.
Kick it.
Sound good. All right. Our first story of the evening.
Wait, did we introduce ourselves though?
All right. They have our names?
No.
Our tagline.
A tag. Reporting to you live from the epicenter of innovation and creation.
You give us 22 minutes. We'll give you some good news.
Still working on it.
Thank you. All right. So our first good news story, yes, indeed, is you. So folks have been emailing us, texting us, IGing us, all kinds of stuff with good news stories so we can spread it out. It's contagious. It is absolutely contagious. So please take this idea and make it better. We are definitely not the most tech savvy nor have any experience in journalism. So go ahead and take it, make it better, and send us, tag us so that we can see how you're doing it in your corner of the world. Good news is good for everybody. That's our first story. So thank you. Our second story, and I think we might even have a little screen share happening.
Uh-oh.
Right?
Where we at?
We upped it from last week.
We're trying to up it.
Women leaders save lives. So we've been spreading this story for quite a bit, and also watching a lot of nations around the world that have women as their leaders. They were extremely responsive to the studies, and as good leaders do, they took advice from people that were experts in the field of pandemics. So a lot of the countries that have women leaders have very, very few cases and very few deaths. One we'd like to highlight is New Zealand. So on last report, New Zealand had only 21 deaths. So shout out to New Zealand. Other countries that have women leaders: Germany, Taiwan, Finland. Who else, my dear? Scroll up a little bit for me. Thank you. Thank you so much. Iceland, Norway, Denmark. Shout out to Jade Maroon and his partner holding it down in Iceland. So when you are clear, concise, and prefigurative in your plan, you can actually save lives. So shout out to those women leaders and all of the folks that take advice from experts and do not put commerce first, but put the people first. Do you want to talk at all about some problematic practices, since we're not just one story here. We're very critical of all of the stories that we share, and some of the practices might seem a little selfish at times. We're talking about Germany.
Oh, that. Oh my God. Okay, pardon. We're doing some tech stuff. I'm trying to make sure, because if you're on Instagram and you do have access to Facebook, you should probably check us out on Facebook, because we're screen sharing and we're showing a bunch of things here. We're pretty limited on our capacity with the IG, but you'll still get the vibrations. I was going to talk to a comrade of mine out in Germany. It's a question, we also, when school sets off, Rosa will be more available in the mornings. So we'll start kicking off our 10:10 a.m. and 10:10 p.m. for our European, African, and other parts of the world comrades to tune in and not be sleeping. But the question is, Germany's doing fairly well with this COVID pandemic, and they've been getting a lot of praise. Along, like Rosa mentioned, Vietnam has been doing phenomenal. Taiwan, New Zealand, Iceland. What up, Iceland? What up, Jay? And all our people out there.
What up, Prince? He's not in Iceland, but we love Prince.
It kind of gives a question to the actual real good news is Cuba, right? Cuba is taking their doctors and they're sacrificing their people to be on the front lines and go out to Italy. Germany's right next door. I'm not sure what the deal is, but from my understanding and from being a little bit connected to this, we haven't seen Germany's response in the way that Cuba has responded to this pandemic with their neighboring countries, so that's on the continent, what I'm saying? Like, Cuba is way out on our side over here, you know what I mean? So, like, if you kind of get the map of it, it doesn't really make much sense, but they're doing pretty good. So we like to keep following that particular story. Yes. And maybe if you are in Germany, or if you are somebody who's just a follower of pandemics or this crisis, and maybe you heard some other intel and information, please do share that particular dose of reasoning, because I'm not understanding it.
Yeah, we are critical and with a revolutionary matriarchal lens, meaning that people are looking out for their people, and also what are you doing? If you have the skills to save the lives, can you share those skills? So, yes, our third story of the night, another revolutionary matriarch. FemmePower Productions launched their TV station with a Twitch launch party last night. Shout out to Heather Maria Ach. She is an incredible writer, director, activist, teaching artist, and she put together a series of queer, black and brown, transsectional films from just amazing artists, musicians, cinematographers, and just really put together an incredible night. So FemmePower, she's going to be with us next week reporting. She's still recovering from her launch party last night. And I can't wait to hear her next steps. But you can definitely still check out right now. FemmePower TV is up and live. It is a website. You can check out the films, voices that are not always heard and always should be heard. So shout out to you, Heather Maria Ach, and all of our Where the Women Are alumni from back in the day. Yes. All right. Our fourth story, we like to highlight our Indigenous folks, again, voices that are not always heard. Our fourth story is about self-defense and how it is helping folks. So the Sioux tribe of Cheyenne River has caused some tension with their government, with the state government, because they are border checking and they're just making sure their folks are healthy before they come onto their lands. If you have heard much about Indigenous lands, it is spreading rapidly. There is still so much poverty in some areas where they do not have soap and water. So just saying wash your hands doesn't quite work. So they need to be a little more militant. And the Sioux tribe in Cheyenne River is doing that with some checks, and just power to them, keep it going. And Spirit, I think, has a few more self-defense stories of people really protecting their communities.
Yes. Peace, Aaron. How you feeling? What's up, Fro? What's going on out there? Send some more music. You want to check it out. You want to hear some things. Yeah. So I'm trying to get this kind of shared thing going on, so pardon me in moving about, but we're trying to up our tactics here so y'all could see things and maybe tune in a different way. Hi, Amara.
Yay! Hey, family. Yes.
So as far as indigeneity and self-defense is concerned, I don't know if you checked this out, but this is really, really good news. The president of Madagascar, was like, yo, WHO, you got to go. You got to go. And it's long overdue, right? Like, this is not something that's new. With all respect to the people who work closely with WHO, I mean, there's a lot of resources that have been provided, but they I mean, you know, part of my political French are fucked up. You know what I'm saying? They bankrupt countries. They make people pretty much pledge allegiance to the dollar, and people are in debt. A lot of countries are in debt. So apparently, you know, the president of Madagascar, Andry Rajoelina, has this situation where they have this kind of COVID organics, and they're claiming to have pretty much like a cure, you know, or at least something that they feel can aid their people. It's not being approved or seen as something legit. They're claiming that they are like the 63rd poorest country, which is probably the reason why nobody's giving them no love on this strength. But it comes from a natural plant. There's a drink that's being derived. It's Artemisia. It's a plant proven anti-malarial properties, and other indigenous herbs are mixed in it. So it's doing good for the people. They want to share it with the world. And apparently the WHO is kind of blocking them. And they like, yo, we done with this. So the president of Madagascar is like, yo, every African nation, get up out of that bootstrap, yo. Like, just leave that alone. Don't mess with them. They're not invested in our longevity and our life. So we need to, like, down with it, which is dope. I want to move on to more local stuff. Not Bad Bunny. That's my man. We're going to talk about him a little later. I'm impressed with Bad Bunny and them, but we'll talk about that in a bit. You know what I'm saying? It's pretty interesting. Mm-hmm. In Michigan, if you've heard, this has been happening. A black armed, legal citizens militia was escorting a black lawmaker, out there in Michigan, which also, as a response to the recent assassinations of the young brother who was jogging, there was also a black militia group that people say was inspired by maybe possibly the Panthers. Mm-hmm. But I mean, you know, we hear a lot of things, but we know the Panthers have inspired many groups. So they're doing their thing out there. We're hoping that starts a trend throughout the United States. As we know, there are many white militias out there. And regardless of your practice or political, people have the right to self-determination, self-preservation. So that's what we always preach and we always talk about. So I'm really glad to see black citizens legally armed, taking the by any means necessary route and doing what they got to do. In the spirit of Malcolm, happy birthday, Malcolm, tomorrow.
Yes.
We'll talk about that later.
Thank
There's
you.
some events happening.
All right. Another form of self-defense is to keep your culture going and to keep your gardens going. So big shout out to grandparents that pass along the love of gardening. My mom, I just want to give her a big shout out this week, has joined us in our homeschooling mission and has started to send us little cute videos of her in her garden. My sister is doing that as well.
Thank you, Mom.
Thank you, Grandma Marie. And so the kids already, our kids already love to be outside and they have a natural love of flowers, thank goodness. And so just want to shout out to all of the grandparents that are passing along their gifts, their skills, their wisdom. She had some lovage. She was eating it right off the plant. That's, some Maine privilege right there. The rain isn't as polluted. So if you have a grandma story, a grandma gift, go ahead and drop it in the chat so we can shout it out. We are working on inviting folks in. If you know how to do that. Last week, Barrow was able to do it, so we'd love you to hear your voices. We're always looking for gifts from our elders, whether it's advice, skills, practice. So that's gifts from grandma, and we got to cruise a little bit more. Our next story is lovers and trends. And yes, we got Vitamin the Governor joined us. Yay!
What up?
Vitamin is another filmmaker and incredible b-boy, and drop some good news in the chat so we can share it with our audience here. This is incredible. So, lovers and trends. Costa Rica is on the verge of passing gay marriage, and they will probably be the first nation in Central America to have that. So we're proud of that. If you have any other trends that are good news or anything about your lovers, that is good news. We'd love to hear it.
Mm-hmm.
We'd love to hear it. Okay. Our next story is Mother Earth. Would you like to tell us about your comrade, Kelly Poon?
Oh yeah, Kelly Poon. What up, Kelly, out in Germany, and Creative Maze. What up? She put me onto this really cool app.
Enviro30.com.
Good news spreads fast. It's called what?
Enviro30.com.
Enviro30.com. It's an app mostly on environmental justice, which we all need good news from Mother Earth anyway. Mm-hmm. But there's an app that actually kind of regurgitates these good happenings throughout the world dealing with environmental justice. So thank you for letting us know about that. We hope to see more of that, not just limited to environmental justice, but also other types of justice that we need. But for now, we'll take that. So along the ways, we'll be reading some things. I mean, I think I skimmed through a few articles last week. There was something about Dunkin' Donuts on there, which is interesting. No sponsored
content, but they did. Dunkin' Donuts. Okay, I'm from New England, so we're big Dunkin' Donuts participants, consumers, and they did switch out for paper cups and not for styrofoam.
That's what they did. Sponsored content is something that people, if you want to catch on to that wave, catch on to the wave.
Emissions are down.
Mm-hmm. The highways, less traffic is happening, so Mother Earth is a little happy. Although I heard something recently about the sun being on lockdown. I didn't check that out. Am I just skimming through some things? It's supposed to be cold pretty soon.
Next week. Story number 8, honey. We got only a few minutes left.
Oh, is that right?
To our sketch.
Okay, skits was structured sketch is what she said.
Unless you have some Mother Earth news, go ahead and drop it. Any good news, anytime. You can drop it in the chat. You can text us, let us know, and chat it up. All right. Okay. So our next story number 8, is our homeschool heroes and Sheroes and human stories. So, as you know, schools are closed all over the world. The schools closed. So we will take stories from anywhere on this. We can report very locally and very live. I'm going to nerd out here as an educator real quick. So there's this thing called zone of proximal development, which is how you work with your youth or your scholars, doesn't matter if they're young or old or whatever, in the zone that they are interested in. So Dad over here, who is the main teacher during the day, loves to zoom into what our kids are interested in. And they recently watched Kung Fu Panda, so he went that angle, and then went into tigers, because Sowell's a huge Tigers fan now, which is fabulous for all gender bending stuff. And also has been studying Asia. Do you want to talk at all about that?
Well, studying?
He went from Africa to Asia.
Oh, yeah. I mean, we usually go based off of what Sowell is very student-centered in this house. Clearly, that's our pedagogy. So, as Mama Rosa was saying, I mean, we just moved along. We don't really have an agenda as long as we can allow. We try to have different cultures, language, food shown, shared, archetypes, spirituality, everything that goes with that. Also, with the writing. So for this stage, for us, for me personally, I don't know, I haven't read it in particular books in that nature yet, but as long as they can write, they can identify with those multiple languages and it not be so foreign for them. And that's what we're kind of moving into. I'm not sure if we're going to start learning Mandarin, but that's a tough one. However, right now, we're definitely floating through the continents and checking things out, especially through the love of animals.
Yeah, nice. Prince has some good news. Can you read it out for us?
Prince, good news so far in 2020. Produced 34 beats and now transitioning and getting in full contact with my emotions, which has always been hard for me to do. Big up, Prince. We love you. I know you've been working hard on your music. We can't wait to hear more of your music. So keep plugging away. I know things have been tough for you recently, but you are an inspiration to us all. You always bounce back. You and your little one and your family, y'all just be holding it down. You everywhere. Yeah. So just keep doing what you're doing. Beautiful. Beautiful.
Definitely a revolutionary matriarch. All right. So another good news for story number 8 is that you produced your videos. So just to follow up on the story that we started last week, Tommy over at Rikers has a Right Now project asking lots and lots of different kind of artists to send videos of themselves, and Spirit was able to use his Gemini skills and learn some video editing, and now has 5
lesson plans.
5 lesson plans that are video, and they're incorporating hip hop herstory, of course, and writing prompts, and they're I'm biased, but they're pretty fantastic. So excited for your youth at Rikers. Oh, he included the Day Days track, one of the youth from Five Top. No.
Yeah, Five Top. Yeah,
from Five Top, who wrote about his grandmother. Oh, just incredible. So shout out to that. Our 9th story are rituals that work. So as Prince mentioned, getting in touch with emotions. There's lots of rituals, and folks are doing all kinds of things to keep body, mind, and soul in the right place for themselves to be sustainable. And you have a comrade, Bad Cat.
Bad Cat. More people out in Berlin, Germany. What up? You probably don't know what we're talking about, but it's all good. We talk about a lot of people, they don't know about it, and hopefully they'll find out how great they are just in general. They know they're great. She's been working out daily, her routines, her boxing is getting crazy. I'm not sure if she's offering any of those particular kind of courses or classes. She's a pretty humble cat, no pun, but she's Bad Cat with a K-A-T. If you out in Berlin and you need some motivation, or just watch her page, just check out her page and see her doing her thing. And it's really important to have those rituals. And since Vitamin did chime in to checking out your videos, man, he stayed putting videos out. We love you. I still don't got the footwork, but I love watching you do the footwork, and it makes me feel like I'm right there. So keep putting that thing out there. Those rituals help us to be in shape, even in the mind. So thank you so much for your contributions towards this cyber world that we're in right now.
Yes. Dance is a savior. It's a savior. And watch out, Vitamin, watch out for Rhea and Sowell, our little ones. On the dance floor they are. Beasts. Beasts. All right, that leads us into our 10th story of the night, which is family, friends, and freestyles. So we, because that's our family.
Right.
Right?
Yeah.
So this past weekend on Sunday, Danielle Barrow, shout out to this incredible educator. She held another session, but it was a writing session, living room salon style. She's just doing great work to be hearing voices. And we also want to shout out to our comrades always. If you know us, you already know that we're super into our hip hop community here in New York and internationally. So there have been lots and lots of international fronts in terms of where people can go to express themselves and keep their voices alive and well. Last week, I believe Dizzy, if you know Dizzy, she won Freestyle Mondays battle. It is a tournament that is ongoing. You can watch it for free and you pay a little bit to play, but you win a cash prize if you get there. So Freestyle Mondays was one of the places that the number one place that inspired Urban Art Beat. So we always want to show love to our roots. And we also have some incredible comrades that are doing great work with Legendary Cyphers and EO and we consider them family and friends. And just the freestyle mindset, the hip hop mindset of making something out of nothing. We have seen that is just good news, period, where people are taking what they have and making it work. So shout out to all of the creativity that is happening in the world. I don't know if you want to give any more updates, my dear.
Yeah, just on the EO Dub tip, they had an EO Dub live just recently, EO Dub Wah, LGBTQ edition. It was hosted by Angel, and it was featuring Sarah Connor, and it was talking about mostly like the LGBTQ movement in hip hop and how powerful they are, and what a force and what of a legacy of career that a lot of these women have. Sarah Connor, definitely one to check out. Check out her extensive dub, hip hop collaborations, compilations, and creations. But yeah, keep looking out for women in hip hop and just women in the world. Women lead the way. So we will always have our family and friends and freestyle section. We will always have gifts from the grands, so grandparents, ancestors. Please send us stories. What are you up to? Are you jazz babying it? Are you bringing people in? Are you teaching folks through your gardening skills? Every day that we are waking up, I asked Sowell if he had any good news to share, and he said, we are alive and we have love. Yes.
I don't think it gets better than that.
Doesn't get better than that.
So we love you.
We're not done. I'm not done. See, here's the thing. When we don't have rehearsals.
Here's the freestyle part.
This is a freestyle part.
Right,
so on the
27 minutes.
On the culture tip, big up to Bad Bunny and Residente. They've been getting a lot of buzz. Bad Bunny for his gender bending and love for the feminine and not afraid in a very heavy masculine culture to share that vibration. And this Residente's new video, Renee, is really dope. It's a 7-minute video. If you don't know this brother, I mean, the poetry, some Calle 13, like the poetry that comes out of him and the memoir that exists in this. So it's really, really cool. Latinos on the rise. Big up, big up, big up, big up. I believe Bad Bunny was also one of the first Latino artists to be on Rolling Stone.
Wow.
Puerto Rican.
Really?
Yeah.
Oh my God, that's horrible.
It's pretty horrible.
No
But
way.
good
No
news.
way.
Good news for
Okay,
us.
okay, good.
Good news. Big up to the Afro Latino Indigena, Maroon diaspora, you know what I'm saying? Puerto Ricans and Jamaicans in the house. But, it's long overdue, but it is what it is. You know what I'm saying? Like, until we have our own in a particular way that allows us that kind of strength that other people have, it is what it is. But that's what we have pretty much on the culture tip that I wanted to just add. And a lot of this information, much love to Latere. Latere's been putting out really dope posts and information and news that I check out and I take pieces apart. So these 2 actual pieces were from Latere. So thank you so much for keep putting my eyes to where the real culture is, even if it's pop and mainstream. So our good news comes from our good people. Also,
hi cousin,
and our family edition portion. Big up to Stephanie Rooker and her partner, husband, lover, longtime musician, comrade, Ben Tyree. They've been doing a lot of benefit concerts indoors, live streamings for Prospect Heights community and giving not only awareness to the particular communities and businesses there, but also proceeds and benefiting them. So it's pretty dope. Hola, hola. Jennifer, how you feeling?
Yay. Family on the line.
So we talked about doing 22 minutes, right? So I think we kind of passed that stage. But we were going to go to the end of the hour to see if you want to chime in and share whatever comments, chats, if there's any good news that you want us to think about for next week or any particular topics. We do have somewhat of a list we're creating now on what we're covering with a new Black Arts Movement's tenets. A lot of it is Mother Earth centeredness, revolutionary matriarchy. So thinking of the feminine indigeneity, thinking of our ancestors, arts equivalent to politics, which is what we just kind of shine light on with the culture, maroon leadership, pedagogy as well. So and self-defense. So we're going through this kind of like 10 particular vibrations. So a lot of good news can fit in that category. We're seeing more and more good news. So it's not just 10 pieces of news, it's 10 categories of good news, which can be 100 if you hook us up, and we could try to squeeze that in really, really, really fast. But I do want to show, if you're not on Facebook, oops, sorry, y'all. See, that's why you got to get on this. You got to get on this other thing. It's not really. So I do want to show a video to end off, or to just kind of play in the background while we let this slide and read your comments and see what you're saying. And
should we sign off on the IG since they can't see it?
Hey IG, do you want us to sign off? Do you want us to kind of show you the video in a very bootleg style where we put it right here and you show you the screen? You could just say what you want. Just one comment, I'll take it. The first one that speaks is the one that we reach.
Nope. The phone spoke.
The phone spoke. All right. Cool. So what we're going to do is show this video, and we're talking about planning and preparation, how it took 50 years, Francis Golden, to pretty much gain our Cooper Union area. And let me see if I can do this and play it. It's only 3 minutes.
My producer did not tell me. Surprise, freestyle every day.
You have to move a lot of people out of the way of a big housing project or slum clearance project. A lot of them are not going to like it.
In 1959, Robert Moses decided to take over my area of the Lower East Side and have it declared an urban renewal project. And he was going to wipe out from 9th Street to Delancey Street.
If there is somebody to excite them, to steam them up, somebody that is a ringleader, you get a terrific amount of criticism.
The reality was, this was class struggle at its worst.
We started to fight the urban renewal plan because it would destroy our neighborhood.
Mama.
What we did was present an alternate plan to the city's plan to wipe out the neighborhood.
Nobody did this. This was new territory.
We fought the bureaucracy of the city. I can't tell you how many demonstrations, how many meetings, how many arrests took place. There were many.
You couldn't stop the economic forces.
You know why we're going to win this fight? You know why? Why? Because we don't give up.
Cooper Square was able to stop them.
It took us 50 years to win, but we won.
So that's good news. Good news. She just died. The other day. So or yesterday.
But at like 86.
90.
90?
95.
Oh. This is what happens when he surprises me with the stories. You know, I don't have my facts straight.
Yeah, it's all good. I mean, we wanted to share that to highlight and to show that victory is definitely certain. It just takes a while, and you have to plan your blueprint. So big up to people like Francis, Ashe, and we will continue to share and show your story. And just cutting that off. But yeah, that's pretty much what I wanted to share with her. That was a last minute, you know what I'm saying, thing that I
Thank you.
thought.
Really good
Oh,
news.
big up to Lynn Lewis, Picture the Homeless, and that fight, because I kind of like copied it from her. I picked it up and I saw the news. So we got our good news from our people. So thank you so much, Lynn.
Yes. All right.
Yeah.
So you give us some of your time and some of your good news, and we will give you
a world. A world. Not the world. We'll give you a world. So are we signing off right now?
Signing off.
We're signing off. All right. So that was it. Live from the epicenter of innovation
and creation.
You give us that 10 what's goods, and we'll give you a world. Another world is happening
because of you.
Thank you so much. We love you.
See you next week, Monday.
Peace.
Send us your good news.
This is the part that always takes us a while.
Much love. That's all right. I could just say how much I love people that showed up. Our family showed up. Okay. You know? Friends showed up.